and it'll look good for the thumbnail. I always forget about that. But hello and kia ora everyone. Welcome to another Digital Boost how-to and Q&A session. We've got Ruben Jackson from Website World, and as you can see behind me, I'm going to learn about pricing techniques to increase customer spend. Any questions on Zoom, you can use the chat or Q&A functions, whatever is easy for you. If you're on social, give us a comment, say hello. Throughout, we'll probably go through them most at the end. And yeah, if you are watching a recording, feel free to get in touch afterwards and give us a buzz, and I'll pass it over to you, Ruben.
Awesome. Yeah, hi. So I'm Ruben from Website World. We've got about a 22-year experience powering e-commerce online. So over the years, we've had an opportunity to look at the different discounting and pricing techniques that people use to, increase their turnover, increase individual customer spend or more customer spend, and also look at a few other general techniques that have been quite successful that we've noticed along the way. Yeah, so I hope you can all see my slideshow okay. Just bring up the chat as well. Great, okay. So first of all, we have to consider a little bit the merchant motivations. We're thinking more about the merchant here. So we want to increase your turnover, we want to increase your profit. Everyone loves a deal, and you need a story to tell to let your customers know that there's a deal. But at the end of the day, we're trying to increase our turnover and profit, not just sell something cheaply. If we're going to be in the business of offering continuous discounts or offering the sort of deal-based approach to e-commerce, we're going to need really good margins as a starting point, so that when we discount off those high margins, that we are still making a profit. We need to consider the industry relevance. When people are buying gifts, the customer purchases the gift, typically only want to buy one item, and that item will be sent to a different address, versus homewares. People might be more encouraged to buy multiple products if it's going to help them get an overall lower price or some sort of discount or free shipping. And also from a business point of view, putting through less big orders is more efficient than more small orders. So we're trying to encourage our customers to buy more at once, so that the handling costs are much reduced. So as a general pricing strategy, we might be in the business of sort of selling premium products, high-priced items. They're unique products. Our website's going to have to be very professionally designed. We'll need reviews about these products, really good content and videos, because if people are just going to shop around for the cheapest price, then we need to do more if we're trying to sell premium products. Another form of business is the best price retail. So, always putting it out there that you've got a discount available. So you're continuously discounting. Obviously, you can't have your items always on discount. You'll have best price offers, and you'll probably need a large range to move your discounts around a little bit. You'll need bigger margins to provide these discounts. With wholesale, it's a little bit different. You're really wanting to get that volume up, so you're wanting to sell more units of something. There'll be tighter margins, but the overall purchase price will deliver reasonable profit, because we're sending a pallet or pallets or boxes of multiple items. With wholesale, we also have a focused audience, so we will not have to spend so much effort trying to win those customers and keep those customers buying more. Whereas in the retail approach, retail customers are fickle and they'll move around. So thinking a bit about the premium products, we really want to avoid discounting premium products. Phones, for example, and high-priced electronic goods probably got quite low margins on them at the end of the day, and it's quite a competitive business. So you really want to keep that price up there so that you lock in those margins when they start selling. But you could be discounting associated products. So for example, in the picture here, you've got a watch, or earbuds You might have protection covers for your phones, and they might be 50% off because you have a huge margin on them. Maybe you've got 75%, 100% markup or 150% markup. Creating a discount bundle to increase the cart value. So your competitor might be selling this phone as well. You sell the phone, so you add more items with it, so that that gives a perception of an overall package discount, and your customer is hopefully more likely to buy from you. And again, we're going to need a lot of reviews. We need content. We need multiple views of the product. We need to really help the customer be interested in this product when they're not there to touch it, or they're not walking past your store. If they're doing it online, you need to just give them a whole lot more. And regarding returns process, customers need to know that they're going to be able to return these products, that there's going to be no effort on their part to do that. It's going to be straightforward. The process is understood, and you have reasonable terms around that. With wholesale, it's more than just selling items cheaply. It has to be easy to purchase. So, for example, can your customers import their purchase order of 100 different items they want to buy from you, or do they have to type it all in? Will they have to navigate your site to find it if they already know your product codes? If they've got a standing order or a repeat order, there's products that they regularly purchased, how easy is it for them to either put that on a set and forget basis, or perhaps to just simply log in and repeat a previous order just to get there a little bit faster? So it's all about that sort of usability, because you're dealing with busy customers, and if you make it easier to purchase, then they're more likely to purchase from you. With these recent days of COVID, stock availability is definitely a big issue. So with stock availability, what depot is it at? How quickly can you get it to me? If it involves, say, car parts for repairs, it's going to really matter. It's going to delay someone getting their car fixed if they have to wait extra few days for the item to go into Ireland, for example. So that is quite important. Also, if there is no stock, can the customer make an inquiry as to when the stock will be available, and how automated is the process for letting them know when that stock is available, so that they can then complete that order? Can they do back order purchases, for example? And targeting pricing tiers is probably the most important part of wholesale. If you've got a few of your customers who put in really big orders, they should be getting a better price than the other customers who only purchase intermittently or in smaller quantities, and definitely retail-ish customers only wanting to buy 1 unit or less than 4 units. They should definitely be paying a closer to full retail price. With the right system, for example, Website World, you can put unique prices on unique product for a unique customer. So there might be, in general, the pricing tier approach might work very well, but if you just have one customer who buys one specific product a lot, you might negotiate a better deal for that product. And you want to sort of set that in place, put it into your system, and just have that carry through automatically without other customers knowing about that. You want to control your quantity increments. So you might want to promote your unit price, because that's going to be attractive to your customers, probably GST exclusive as well. But you really need your customers to buy a dozen a box. So therefore, the minimum quantity is going to have to be a dozen, and it needs to go up in quantities of a dozen. So you need your system to take care of that. You don't want someone putting 14 in a box, and you have to break a box open and somehow package 2 additional items. And obviously you need to be able to control those minimums. With Website World, we also have the ability to have 1 minimum for trade and 1 minimum for retail. So you can actually mix all of that into one catalog. Now, sort of looking at discounting methods, and we'll take 2 pretty common approaches here. You've got one promotion, 25% off, and we have another promotion of buy one, get one half price. Now, they're basically the same product margin, but which one sort of works in the best favor for the merchant? So in the 25% off, you can buy one item and get it 25% off. So let's say it's a $100 item, it's $75, and therefore the product cost might be $50, so you've only made $25 on the sale. With the other one, again, the items cost $50, but you're selling them at $100. The first one's $100. The second one ends up half price, $50. And now you've sold two items for $150. So your profit is now $50 on that sale by selling more items. So there's an encouragement here for the customer by offering the same margin saving to actually increase your turnover. However, this approach isn't so great in a gifting sort of environment. However, in offering the buy one, get one half price, the purchaser always has the opportunity to only buy one item and you retain a better margin on that. So overall, that sort of offer is going to increase your turnover and increase your profits. And there's a lot of other similar ways you can structure it. Buy two, get one free. You can sort of keep, changing these approaches. Yeah, as you go. Free shipping offers is also a really great idea to increase your cart value. So rather than discounting your items, you promote the free shipping shipping offer. It's approachable, it's achievable, $100. You might have a lot of items for $80 for sale. Someone just needs to add $20 more, and then they're going to save that $5 or $10 shipping cost. If the approach here really that it has to be achievable. If someone has to buy two $80 products to get over that $100, then they might, not be so excited about that. It's a good idea in your checkout or somewhere generally to promote low cost, high margin products that are the ones that people might add at the end. For example, I recently bought something that was $95 and I had to get to $100, and they sold playing cards. So I bought the pack of playing cards and got a free pack of playing cards. Probably the shipping was the same, but you get the idea. That pack of shipping cards probably only cost $1, but has a profit of $4. So that's a good example there. Small spend purchases pay the true shipping cost. So if someone doesn't wish to spend over $100, they still have the opportunity to spend less than $100, but they're now paying the full price of the good, generating good profit margins for your business. The free shipping on $100 does encourage people to think about what they need. So maybe they just wanted to get one blanket. Now they're going to get more blankets, maybe some pillowcases and a few pillows or whatever, a few more things on their order. So rather than staggering their orders over the next month or two, they've put in one big order. That's more efficient for you to handle and pack and more efficient to ship. So therefore, you've, again, benefited the business. Depending on the system you use, it's an opportunity to add a rural surcharge. So at Website World, even though you have said free shipping on orders over $100, you still have the ability to put a surcharge on rural. So it's still discounted for rural, but there is a surcharge. With your products, in order to, in general, offer these sort of free shipping deals, you will need to increase the cost of your products just a little bit, but the benefit is that you're going to have bigger cart spends. Combination purchases is another way. So it's quite common with snowboards. You get the snowboard, you get the bindings and the boots. There's a range of different products you can get, different styles, different colors, different lengths. And so there's a little bit of work about putting these packages together. If you have the right e-commerce platform, you can structure a deal which says all snowboards from a particular range, all bindings from a particular range, and all boots from a particular range. They could be in different ranges, different categories, but you can then target your discount over those combined categories. People need to buy an item from each of those categories to get the combination purchase discount. It's not something you need to manually do in store. It's something that is fully automated, and you don't have to have pre-package these together, so you don't have a lot of effort to do. You simply just point the discount at the ranges and then promote the offer. One of the things with our system is that, for example, let's say that someone has added the board and added the bindings already, the boots will then be promoted at the cheaper price. So rather than, if they didn't even know about the deal, they'll be like, wow, why are those boots now only $20? And it's because the system has worked out that there is a package that's now available to this purchaser, and they only have to add that item, and therefore if they do add that item, that will be the price at the checkout. Loyalty points is really good for gift shops, so and many other businesses as well, but it encourages a lot of small repeat purchasing to build up their points balance, and then gives them rewards that they can then spend. The benefit of points is that those rewards are spent again in your shop rather than a discount to their bank balance. So you, at the end of the day, you increase your turnover, you sell more product, you move more product, and it hasn't cost you in a financial sense or in a monetary sense, cash flow sense. It encourages repeat business. It gives you the opportunity, by offering a loyalty points program, to collect someone's email address. So even if they don't really have an intention of purchasing again, the fact that you're able to get their email address means that you'll be able to promote to them and therefore potentially convince them to buy more from you in the future. With loyalty points, you want to have a minimum target before you can redeem. So let's say that someone earns 20 points on an order. Maybe you need to say 50 points is required before you can redeem. That way they have to put 2 or 3 orders through before they make a claim to get a discount. It just helps get more sales, but it has to be achievable. If you make it unachievable, a lot of people will just think, oh, the loyalty points is a scam. So it's not really worth the effort of them participating in that. 2+ orders before redemption is probably a good target. It's really good for set and forget marketing. So e-commerce platforms that support loyalty points, it's something you can enable. It can be automated so that everyone is automatically in the program, or maybe you have a promotional page where they join with their email to be part of it. But generally, from their first purchase, they can be earning points. You can be promoting that to them and giving them encouragement to come back. So it's not something you have to put much effort into. You just set it up and let it go. So it's easy to manage. Affiliate points is another interesting one. So if we use our customers to promote our products on social media, for example, or promote products to friends, we might offer our customers affiliate loyalty points. So if they promote a product on social media and a customer buys that product following that link, it is tracked to them, and they might get perhaps 5% points, and the purchaser might get 10% points. So you've sort of lost 15% worth of points, but your customers have helped you become brand ambassadors for your products. So it's a good feature to enable and to encourage that to happen. And it's encouraging brand ambassadorship. VIP customer strategies. So a little bit like our brand ambassadors, again, we're trying to encourage people to not be a stranger, but have a relationship with your brand. So if we sign them up, if they just simply sign up on your website and provide their contact details to you, you might give them a 10% discount, either off their next order or all orders. Perhaps it's just a way to encourage everyone to join your mailing list first. So you take it for granted that 10% is being offered to everybody. You promote you promote this widely on your website so that everyone knows they need to register and log in. And the important thing here is that you're gaining their email to communicate with them. You're gaining their permission to have that relationship with them. And then once you have that relationship, you can send them newsletters. You can educate them, make it fun and rewarding, and just sort of build that up over time. You don't necessarily want to be selling to them all the time. Just keeping your brand front of mind for them, so that maybe when next Christmas rolls around and they're ready to start buying all their presents again, they're thinking of you first before they think of something else. You might want to entice a follow-up purchase with a deal. So if someone's bought something, perhaps you target a newsletter just at a specific audience, so just people who maybe purchased 3 months ago but haven't purchased in the last 2 months. So you might have a special promotion just for them to sort of win them back. Again, the loyalty points program, really important for the VIP customers. And how can you convert those customers into affiliates and give them success-based rewards? Payment options are an interesting one. Definitely the new payment plan, pay now or buy now, pay later payment offerings like Afterpay, Lay-by, Zip, Genoa Pay, Hum, etc. They're all quite popular, and you will gain more customers because you're offering those services. However, they do tend to cost a little bit more percentage-wise. You might be getting 2 to 3% on your credit card transaction fees, but you may be paying 4 to 5% on these sorts of services. And depending on what platform you're using, you may find that your e-commerce platform will charge another 1 or 2% on top of that for you using a payment provider which isn't closely affiliated with them. That's something Website World doesn't do. We have no additional charges, so you just pay a fair rate to the providers that you choose. Online banking is a popular option, particularly in New Zealand and Australia and England. Most customers know how to easily, they put the bank account number in, they put the reference number in, and you get paid. There's usually no transaction fees associated with that, or a very minimal transaction fee from your bank. The only downside of that is that you don't receive that money in your account essentially to the next day or when you reconcile that. So there's a little bit of effort on the reconciliation, but if you're using something like Xero, that reconciliation can happen reasonably automatically and would feed back to our e-commerce platform anyway. So it would put a delay of a day on your fulfillment of the order, but that's probably part and parcel with when you offer the online banking option. If you want a more real-time online banking option, you can do that with, Windcave, account-to-account, Polypay, etc. And then they have perhaps a 1%-ish sort of fee, 0.5%, 1%, depending on your plan. You might like to restrict some of these options for your wholesale customers. So if you have a mixed catalogue where wholesale customers are logging in to get their special pricing, but you have retail pricing on the same website, you might have Afterpay offered for your retail customers, but your wholesale customers shouldn't be entitled to that payment method. So perhaps wholesale customers only pay on account with no credit card deductions, so that you send them an account at the end of the month and they pay that by online banking. Thus, you're not incurring that 3 to 4% or even 5% by the time you've incurred the fixed fees in there. So yeah, you really want that ability to filter those payment options. From a usability aspect, which payment provider is going to provide the easiest checkout experience. PayPal's often offends a lot of customers if they're not already familiar with it, because it asks for too much information as you check out. Stripe and Windcave are pretty fluid through their checkout, and they're all a little bit different. Obviously, the pay later services have a bit more terms and conditions around that as well. You can add surcharges to some of these if you wish to recoup that, but you'll have to be compliant with your terms and conditions with those individual providers as to whether or not you can do that and what is reasonable. And also beware of foreign deliveries using stolen cards. So sometimes you get these sort of interesting orders coming from overseas if you're new in business and you might think, wow, this is great, this is a big order, it's quite exciting, but they've said they only want to use a particular payment method. So you go, oh, okay, so you sign up for that payment method and then you receive the order. And what happens is that it turns out that they used a stolen card and all their contact details will be incorrect. So you will have shipped the item believing that you've had the money. You perhaps had the money in your PayPal account for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You've perhaps even withdrawn it. But when the cardholder finds out that their card was stolen and used illegally, that will be reversed, and then you'll then be in debt back to PayPal with the goods gone. So just take care on that. So yeah, also considering about the trust aspect, your customers really need to know that they can trust you. So if you're already a reputable brand, that's not a problem. But if you're competing online with all of the other websites that are trying to sell similar items, and you're trying to win new customers, you need them to trust you. The first and most important thing is your address visibility. So sometimes people run their businesses from home, they don't want their address to be visible. But if the customer thinks, I can't see enough contact details, what happens if the items don't turn up? What happens if they're broken or faulty or not as advertised? What can they do as a customer? How could this purchase go bad for them? So having your address visible is quite important, even if it ends up only being a like a shared office address, or perhaps you have a retailer who will present address visibility, or an outlet, or maybe you go to a market. Whatever way that you can present your address to customers so that they can come and see you face to face helps get that trust. Reviews are really important. You want to grow those reviews. So as part of your checkout experience, you really want to be prompting your customers to review the products. So you need to allow a couple of weeks for those products to have been packaged, delivered, and received, a chance for them to use it. And just when they're happy about receiving their new products and haven't found any faults, you want them to place reviews. So if your system can prompt your customers for a review, then you will be able to get more of those reviews. Just looking on the social questions with the website, well, can I offer free shipping over any total spend in combination with other product discounts? Yes, you can. Yep, free shipping can be in combination with other discounts. Shopify now charge additional fees to use some payment providers, which is super tough on profit margins. Great to hear that website will do not charge any fees to use Lay-by. Yep, that's right. Yep, it's quite good that. Yeah, okay. If you do have any questions along the way, just throw them in the chat window and I will try and keep my eye out for them. All right, make it a bit bigger so I can see them when they come up. So yeah, looking at trust still, shipping expectations. Shipping is a really big issue at the moment about availability and how fast you can get items to people. They want to know, if you're buying it, they want to know it's in stock. Is it really in stock? That it's not on back order, that you're not going to drop ship it from China. They want to know when they will likely get it. So can you provide them different courier options, one where they get it the same day or the next day, and another one which is the cheaper option for someone who doesn't want it for a week or doesn't need it for a week? About us, it's really good to maybe have a photo of your shop or your factory or your team, of your machine, whatever it is, maybe your products as they've been hired out. If the party products, maybe they were hired out for a party, what did the party look like? Photos, it's hard to fake a photo. So does it look, are other people buying your products? Can this customer see themselves having the same happy experience of buying your products and using them as other customers have? The reviews plugin. So prompt to action, as I've discussed already, is important. How do you respond to negative reviews professionally? It's always possible you're going to get those negative reviews. So how do you deal with them? It's important to be courteous, to don't delete them. It's just address them. You'll learn from them. You're sorry to hear that experience. You could perhaps say that, that you've offered to return the items, whatever it is. Most readers will be able to tell the difference between whether the customer or the merchant is acting incorrectly in those situations. Having a returns policy to reduce anxiety. So you put it in your terms and conditions, but also even having a menu button for it. If it's really clear that returns, that there's a button and customers go, oh, that's good, they've thought about that. I haven't thought about returns. That's good. I'll click that and I'll look, how can I return these items if I need to? If they know that the process is clear, simple, straightforward, reasonable, they'll be like, that's great. This merchant has thought about returning items. Even if it incurs courier costs or whatever might be associated with it, it's clear and it's understood, and it reduces the anxiety of the customer. It's good to see notifications of the delivery progress, so that customers have a realistic idea of when they're going to get their items and how that progress is going. The more you inform your customer, the less their anxiety and fears go away, and the less they get on the phone interrupting your day. And customers will pay more on websites they trust. So it's not just about having the cheapest price. If you can build up that trust, then customers will pay more. Just-in-time inventory. Stock costs a lot of money, and we don't want too much stock sitting on our shelves. We don't want it to get wet. We don't want it to go rotten. We don't want it to sit there and grow cobwebs. We need to keep plenty of inventory of our top selling items, but we really just need enough. We need to have plenty of back orders in progress. So we want to be monitoring our stock levels so that we don't wait until we're out before we order more. There should be some on the way all the time for those fast moving items. If we record the estimated time of arrival of our supply orders into our system, then we can be notifying our customers clearly that this item might be available on back order, but if they know that it's turning up this week, well, they might put their order in now to get ahead of anyone else who waits for it to be properly back in stock. So yeah, getting it in there early is a good idea. Communicating that ETA is really good. Enable customers to record interest of out-of-stock items. So not just an inquiry system, but the ability for them to actually have that inquiry logged against the product. As soon as the product's in stock, they automatically get notified. They've got a link to the product. So really quickly, they get the email, they click the link, they can buy the item really fast, and not a lot of effort, no searching required, etc. And addressing considerations. We want to have rural delivery detection. So places like Waiheke, for example, are in Auckland, but they're a rural delivery location. So therefore it's going to cost you more to deliver. If you're selling low price goods, then that delivery cost is going to be really impacting on you. If you're selling fudge, chocolate, that sort of thing. If you're selling larger items, maybe you might be able to cover that cost on average. But the ability to detect rural delivery is really important, and perhaps you can put a surcharge on rural delivery, even though you're offering free shopping. You just got to make sure you've got your terms and conditions and your wording right. Will your orders be split into multiple packages? Is that beneficial to you for the cost of supplying? Or does it help the customer get some of the items sooner or later? How does that affect your pricing? Can your courier integration with your platform hold items? So if you want to part ship an order, the pricing that the courier provides needs to be based only on the items that you are shipping today. So you need the ability to hold some items back, push the order through to your courier, so it automatically prints the label, saves you time. You put that on the first, and then later on you'll run through that process again for the remaining items when they're in stock. Whether you do that or don't do that is less important of whether then you can do that if you need to. Guest first usability. So you don't really want to have a system where customers have to log in to purchase from you. You want them to be able to always do a guest checkout. With that, you might have the issue of them changing their address or the address not being quite complete. So you really want the ability for them to auto-complete their address. So, a really good platform is they're going to put their name in, then they're going to type their street number, 3 letters of their street address, and then presto, they're ready to check out because the full address has been auto-completed. Trade and VIP customers, as I've discussed before, will need to be logging in, and then they have the opportunity to repeat their previous addresses and just save themselves a bit of effort. And an address validation service plugin. So this is when customers have entered their address, but sometimes the autocomplete will strip something out, or sometimes the autocomplete isn't quite correct because you've used Google autocomplete, or you've used New Zealand Post's autocomplete, or whichever one you've used doesn't provide the right answer for the customer or for the actual delivery of the item at the end of the day when it comes to your chosen courier to deliver. So using an address validation service can save you a lot of time and effort by highlighting orders where the address doesn't look 100% correct, and just gives you a chance to do a bit of manual research on that one before you ship the item, because there's nothing worse than shipping an item overseas to have it returned to you. You've got a disgruntled customer, you're out of pocket for your courier fees, and time's moved on with that stock item being out of stock. So yeah, that's quite important. You can also, some of the courier services also offer that address validation service built into their platform. Some don't, some do. And courier speed versus cost. So it's good to let your customers decide what's important to them. Do they want to be cheap and take a long time, or are they willing to pay because they need the item as fast as possible? It's best to let them choose what they want rather than you having limited options. And how do we make a profit in a competitive world? So we want to be price competitive. We want to meet the market expectations for price, but we don't want to undercut. If we undercut too much, then our competitors will undercut, and then we all drive ourselves down to the bottom dollar. So we want fair pricing, but we want to know a value proposition. We want a point of difference, and we need to establish our niche. We need to be able to tell our customers what is special about us and why they should buy from us, rather than just trying to discount. Because discounting isn't always the best approach for longevity in business and to sustainability and to make good profits. You want to be known for service, how you looked after a customer, quality, the quality of your products, information about how much can you tell customers about their products. I was buying an oven for a rental recently, and it was very hard on some websites to find out how big the oven was. And it turns out that not all kitchen cabinets fit all ovens. So the dimensions are very important. So are the dimensions visible? Are they searchable? Are those dimensions the dimensions of the box being shipped? Are they the dimensions of the product, how it's inserted into a cabinet, for example? And speed, how quickly do you respond to inquiries? Speed. How quickly do you ship your items, and how quickly do those items arrive based on the choice of courier? So there's a whole lot of aspects around speed. If you get all those things all right, you could be charging more than your competitors and still have happy customers. You want to focus on your higher volume products that sell. There's no point selling or spending much time and effort on the products that aren't selling well. It's good to be able to offer those where you can, but hopefully have high margins on those. Your high volume products, you want them to move. So focus your efforts there. And you obviously need to research your competitors to keep an eye on what they're doing. Final points. You've got to sell things that people want. It's got to be first and foremost. So if the question around pricing is around items that people aren't buying at all, then the issue may be that it's not something that they want. So if you're focusing on products that are selling well, or you're selling a quantity of, then you can try things, right? You can try discounting, you can try increasing, you can try different approaches to selling that product and see what effect those approaches have on the moving items. But it's a bit hard to test that or research that if you're selling an item that people don't want or are available at too many other providers. You definitely need a higher margin to cover your marketing, administration, rent, handling. A lot of people just think, oh, this product that is available in retail, it's too expensive and I can get it cheaper, so I'm going to sell it, at a margin. I'm going to make a profit. That'll be good. But your margins need to cover all of these other things like marketing and rents, etc. Your accounting costs, everything. You need to have good margins on your products. Otherwise, there's no point going to the effort of selling these items. Overstocking will definitely destroy your cash flow. So if you waste all your money overstocking on something that's not selling, then you've lost the opportunity to buy something else that could sell. Understocking misses the opportunities. So while you're waiting on those products to come in, you're not selling them. There's people who are coming to your website not buying them because they're out of stock. If you get your supply orders right sized, then perhaps your supplier might be offering you a discount. If you buy by the pallet, by the box, by the dozen, you'll get the better deals. For your own customers, your wholesale customers, you definitely need very clear and enforceable terms of trade so that if they are paying at the end of the month, you'll get paid that money. You don't want to be extending long debtor cycles. And perhaps how can you get some of those products back if they haven't been paid for? And clear terms and conditions for retail, wholesale. It's just really, really important because dealing with returns, dealing with warranty, dealing with complaints, dealing with non-payment, all of those things are just a really big issue. So make sure you've got all your documentation sorted in advance before you start selling products in a new business. And that's pretty much the end there. So are there any questions?
Yeah, there's a couple in the Q&A box if you have that.
Yep.
Open.
Yeah, I answered those through my through the
Cool.
discussion.
Cool. So dealer discount done, and the Facebook Marketplace one. Have we covered that?
Hold on. Q&A. I've got.
Oh yeah, that's all good. I'll put it in the
you
chat.
have to put them into the chat window of.
Yeah, I can put it in the chat if you want.
Oh, yeah. If you're always offering a deal or a discount, how do you avoid your customers from just waiting for the next sale promo? Ideally want customers buying regularly for regular cash flow. Yeah. Well, that's a hard one. You might want, with your messaging, you might want to be clear on what products are never available at a deal or a discount. For example, Apple products are often not available at a deal or a discount. It just goes with their the life cycle of what version is out. However, there'll be a lot of products around those phones and devices that can be sold at a discount. So you can be putting those discounts in front of people all the time. So, or put them together as a package. But yeah, I mean, for cash flow, you in a long-term relationship, sort of wholesale retailer relationship, the retailer is probably only going to buy as much as they're going to buy from you. There's only so much need, so you need to supply what they have, and it's probably better off to sell fewer items than it is to have more orders shipping through. You get that cash flow and fits and bursts, I guess, in that approach. How do you cope with Facebook Marketplace? Private individuals still offering your product or businesses posing as private sellers. Private individuals offering your product. So I guess, people can be trying to sell your products or pass them off as their own. I guess, that's a hard one. Businesses posing as private sellers. Yeah. I mean, it's probably a question more for Facebook Marketplace. I mean, you need a strong brand. It needs to be clear. Can you watermark your images so that they have your brand on it? hopefully your product will be associated with your brand, and the general consumer will know about that. Yeah. Do you have any examples of how VIP customer programs or points programs have worked for high cost, low volume products? Well, yeah, loyalty points for low volume might not be the best relationship. You probably, with loyalty points, it really is about encouraging the repeat purchases. But however, simply having the points program is that opportunity to win the relationship with a customer, so that, by offering a points program, even if they may not end up using it, you've at least gained, by offering the program, you have established a relationship with that customer who may not even be buying today. They might just be wanting to join the points program. How can I get help moving my current website to Website World platform? Oh, yeah, sure. Happy to help with that. Yeah, just contact our support team. So I'll just put the address into the chat window. So just contact support@website.world. Yeah, we have we can migrate lots of platforms to ours by taking the source data, and we usually can maintain the SEO keywords, all the meta, the site so that Google stays happy, and even the images you will usually come across if we can get the right sort of data. Yeah, that's a good option.
Cool. Nice.
Thanks for sharing that tip. Yeah.
Cheers, good. Yeah, no, definitely get in touch. I think sounds, like you've got a great team. And I guess any other questions, please put them in the chat. Luna, on your Facebook Marketplace, yeah, what's your product? I guess it depends on your product, really, because it can depend on that. Some things people won't want to buy off Marketplace, and some things it's better to, I guess, filter them to your website. Or indoor plants. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, I guess indoor plants. Yeah, I guess that's interesting because there are a lot of people I know selling them on like Instagram and Facebook, but they're kind of doing it as like a side hustle kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I guess your original question was, yeah, I guess, yeah, I mean, it depends where the audience is, right? Because I guess from experience, I do know that people do kind of like looking on those places. So, because it's, quite localized, because you can quite easily, on Facebook Marketplace, like filter it by location. Because I guess if you're in Christchurch, you probably don't want to order something from Auckland.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge opportunity to have your products on there. It's the passing off that's hard to combat. I mean, it's imitation. People are going to do it. You can, the only way, I guess, is to, as you promote your products and images on the marketplace, if you stamp them with your logo, then it reinforces your brand and also the reputability of your brand. So the more you do it over a long period of time, people will become familiar that you're a safe merchant to deal with.
Yeah. And as Ruben mentioned earlier, I guess, build that trust and build your kind of brand, and people will come to you instead, among other things. And yeah, okay. Imitation lifting of product information description. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Facebook can be quite a odd place sometimes, for stuff like that. Yeah. Like,
yeah,
I guess. Oh no, you go. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. People are often asking about how to stop images being taken off your website, for example, but it's really quite impossible because anyone will just screen share and then crop out what they need to, so they can totally steal your images and share them. Yeah, you can really only put out your good brand and your good messaging, and to combat that.
Yeah, and I guess for like your industry, I guess every product is unique, so it probably you probably can't take photos exactly your descriptions, but I think for you, just I guess focus on what we mentioned before, like the quality and and your brand a bit more with that kind of stuff, because I do know that with that, you probably do need to make sure that you've got a good presence on social, as well as like a good website. And again, going back to the trust slide, which I think was really important, people will come back to you if they know who you are versus some random on Marketplace, especially because there is a lot of bad stuff happening on Marketplace recently, if you've read about it in the news. So I think people are kind of more airy now versus before. When it started, it was great, but now there's a lot more, I guess, the dark side is kind of caught up with it a bit. And yeah, any other questions on social, please put them in. But I guess my quick notes on that was, thanks, Jim. That was actually really great. I think I talk to a lot of small businesses in my role, and a lot of them have e-commerce, a lot of them have things set up, but they haven't yet thought of it strategically. So if that's one of you, definitely, watch this again, take some notes again, because there's a lot of really, really good stuff about, even, like the free shipping and stuff, definitely. Like I was trying to buy something a few weeks ago and free shipping was like 100. I was looking for something to make up the 20, get myself a little treat, but it was either like, I don't know, like accessories for a product, or you'd have to spend $60, which is too much, you know what I mean? Like, so I was like, oh, well, I don't really want to spend $60, so I'm just going to pay the shipping. So they missed out on $20 if they had something there just to fill in the gap, like some playing cards or something.
Yeah, I mean, the playing cards is incredible because it would be 50 cents or $1, right? The totally. Cost of it. So, and everyone must be adding that pack of cards onto their.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, that's definitely such a, like, I guess, weird, because it was, they look like they had a really good store, but, they had the free shipping, and I guess maybe the intention was for me to spend $60, but I'm not sure if people do that, but I don't think, I would, or a lot of people would.
Yeah, it's got to be achievable, or people will start, sort of moaning about it.
Definitely. And it goes back to the loyalty system as well, I guess think of it as like you're a customer as well, and I think this was honestly really great. Like there was so much good stuff in it. Definitely, get in touch with Ruben and his team if you have any questions. I guess also, I can't remember on handwriting, but yeah, in terms of shipping as well, make sure that you have the product. Funnily enough, I bought a birthday present for like someone at work in December for his birthday in January, and it still hasn't arrived yet. So that's a bit, that's a bit of we'll get it one day, but I guess it is a bit frustrating for that. And and I guess I think everyone should kind of look at the trust slide a lot, because I think there's a lot there, especially for small businesses. It can be a bit hard if you don't have like a brand name set up. You don't, yet. That will come, but I guess doing things like having a good about page, having pictures of your product, of yourself, of where you are, of having customer testimonials, use social media and put if someone's tagged you on social media that they've bought your product and they've had a great time with it, then share that to the end of the earth, because that is gold. Because I guess especially for big purchases and for someone who you haven't bought before with, people do a lot of research these days, because I guess there's so many things, so many places to buy off. So definitely have be strategic and make sure that people can find you and learn about you. Do you have anything to add on anything? I don't think there's any more questions, but we've got about 5 minutes to close up. So
no, that's cool. I mean, if anyone wants to check out what we've got, it's www.website.world. On there we have a newsletter you can subscribe to. It doesn't matter what platform you're on, you don't have to join us, but if you did join our newsletter, we're constantly promoting all sorts of blogs that cover in depth these sorts of things, how to latest ones, winter promotions, and we cover pricing in many different ways, always getting deep on a lot of these issues around e-commerce, and it's particular to all platforms in general.
Yeah, definitely. Cool, nice, amazing. Well, unless anyone has any last minutes, I think we might wrap up in a second. Do you have any anything else to plug or anything? Any other closing thoughts on this? Or
no, it's all good. Happy to call it a wrap.
yeah, no, thanks so much, Ruben, for that. And I definitely learned a lot from that. And everyone definitely, have a look back. I think take some notes, because there was honestly so much good information there. And yeah, we'll look forward to catching up with you soon, Ruben. And thanks, everyone. And have a lovely rest of your day. I hope the weather's nicer where you are than it is in Auckland. It's a bit miserable outside. So
it is miserable outside. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the window and I'm just like, oh, I don't want to go back out there. So probably go make a coffee. But yeah, any questions? Was it support at?
Yeah, support at website.world. Just come to us and we can answer any other questions that you might have. Hadn't thought about right now, but think about later.
Yeah, great. Perfect. Well, yeah, great. Have a great rest of your day, bro.